I mean, they have to be kidding, right? Everyone who voted to let a 34-time convicted felon off the hook is very mad about Joe Biden letting his son off the hook. Our pumpkin pie-headed president-elect spent his holiday at Mar-a-Lago with his family and his new best friend.
What do you get when you cross a former president, a Twitter tycoon, and a turkey? A Thanksgiving dinner that's more roasted than the bird. Trump and Elon's holiday hangout at Mar-a-Lago was the feast of fools we didn't know we needed. But wait, there's more. While these two were probably arguing over who has the biggest rocket, Biden was busy turning the White House into Santa's workshop on steroids. 28,000 ornaments? That's not decoration, that's a cry for help. Stick around as we unwrap this holiday horror show and find out why sometimes the best family gathering is the one you're not invited to. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this. Two billionaires who can't read a room decide to have turkey together. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything, as it turns out. Trump and Musk rolled up to Mar-a-Lago, each thinking they were the main event. It was like watching two peacocks trying to outstrut each other at a chicken farm. As they walked in, you could practically see their egos battling for dominance in the air. The awkward small talk began almost immediately.
Our pumpkin pie-headed president-elect spent his holiday at Mar-a-Lago with his family and his new best friend.
Trump, ever the humble host, started bragging about his perfect golf swing. Musk, not to be outdone, chimed in about his plans to colonize Mars. The other guests smiled politely, probably wishing they could be colonizing Mars right about now. As the evening wore on, the competition for attention intensified. Trump regaled the table with tales of his huge election win, in an alternate universe presumably. Musk countered by explaining how he single-handedly saved Twitter from the brink of irrelevance. The staff exchanged worried glances, wondering if they should start hiding the sharp objects. Then came the jokes. Oh boy, the jokes. Trump tried his hand at some Elon Musk zingers, but they fell flatter than a SpaceX rocket on a bad day. Musk retaliated with some Trump puns that were about as funny as a Tesla on autopilot in a China shop. The guests' forced laughter was so painful it could have powered one of Musk's solar farms.
That's what Thanksgiving is like in hell. That's what I imagine. It's Donald, it's Elon, and it's YMCA for the millionth time.
But the real fireworks started when the topic of rockets came up. Trump boasted about his Space Force, while Musk bragged about his actual rockets. The argument escalated faster than a Falcon 9 launch. My rocket's bigger. No, mine is. It was like watching two toddlers fight over who has the better toy, except these toddlers have Twitter accounts and nuclear codes. In the end, both stormed off in a huff, probably to tweet about how amazing the dinner was. Trump's tweet: "Best Thanksgiving ever. Elon loved my turkey. Sad." Musk's response: "Dinner at Mar-a-Lago was out of this world. Trump's jealous of my rockets. LOL." Meanwhile, in a galaxy far, far away, aka Washington, D.C., a very different holiday scene was unfolding. From space rockets to space cadets, we now zoom in on a very different kind of chaos. The White House Christmas decorations this year are so over the top, even Clark Griswold would say, "Whoa, take it easy there, Joe." Turns out, the Biden administration decided to turn 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue into Santa's workshop on steroids. Because nothing says presidential like drowning in tinsel, right? The White House Christmas decoration plans are so ambitious, they make Trump's ego look modest in comparison. Let's talk numbers, folks. We're looking at a whopping 28,000 ornaments. That's not a typo, 28,000. It's like someone gave the decorating committee a blank check and said, "Go nuts." At this point, it's less of a winter wonderland and more of a winter war zone. Picture poor old Joe, lost in a forest of tinsel and baubles, trying to find his way to the Oval Office. Jill, can you hear me? I think I'm stuck in the blue room. It's like a festive version of The Shining, but instead of red rum, it's more rum in the eggnog, please. Now, given Biden's age, there's a real concern he might not find his way out before New Year's. Search parties are on standby, armed with candy canes and gingerbread GPS trackers. The Secret Service has added a new code: silver tinsel, for when the president gets tangled in fairy lights. But wait, there's more. The decorations are so intense, they've started affecting White House operations. Press briefings now come with a complimentary pair of sunglasses to shield against the glare from all the shiny ornaments. The West Wing has been renamed Santa's Satellite Office, and instead of Hail to the Chief, they're playing Jingle Bells when Biden enters a room. After days of navigating this Yuletide labyrinth, Biden finally emerged, covered head to toe in glitter. With a twinkle in his eye that could rival the Star of Bethlehem, he declared it the best darn Christmas ever. Well, at least someone's happy about this ornament apocalypse. But while Biden's battling baubles, Republicans are having a different kind of meltdown. And trust me, it's not because they didn't get an invitation to this tinsel town. You think Biden's Christmas decorations are over the top? Wait till you hear about the political fireworks that make those 28,000 ornaments look like a subtle touch. Biden just pulled a move that's got Republicans more fired up than a deep-fried turkey on Thanksgiving. Turns out Papa Biden decided to give his son Hunter an early Christmas present, a surprise pardon, and boy did that ruffle some Republican feathers. It's like Biden forgot he once said he wouldn't pardon his son.
But no one has more to be thankful for this weekend than Hunter Biden. President Biden, even though he specifically said he wouldn't pardon his son Hunter.
Against everybody in this country.
This is just total disrespect for the rule of law.
Hypocrisy at its best and a threat to democracy.
Oops, maybe he got confused and thought he was pardoning the Thanksgiving turkey instead. The GOP is having a meltdown that puts even the most dramatic toddler tantrum to shame. They're accusing Biden of being a big fat liar and disrespecting the law. One angry Republican was so mad, he probably woke up his neighbors yelling, "Joe Biden has lied to us from the get-go." A true travesty against everybody in this country.
On federal tax and firearm charges, he dropped the pardon out of nowhere like it was a Kendrick Lamar album. And
calm down, buddy. It's not like Biden pardoned the turkey and ate his son for Thanksgiving dinner. Right-wing media is losing their minds, too. One commentator was so furious, he practically burst a blood vessel on air, shouting, "I woke up today, I'm absolutely furious with this. This whole thing stinks."
Not a presidential historian, but I believe this is the first time a U.S. president has pardoned both his son and a turkey in the same week.
Well, maybe that's just the leftover turkey, pal. But here's where it gets really funny. Remember when Trump was handing out pardons like they were party favors? He even pardoned his son-in-law, Jared Kushner's dad, who hired a hooker to frame his own brother-in-law. Now that's what I call family values. But apparently that was totally fine and dandy.
Here, not only did Trump pardon his son-in-law, Jared's dad, who went to prison for hiring a hooker to frame his own brother-in-law.
The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife and serve it as Christmas ham. These are the same folks who cheered when Trump was playing Pardon-Palooza, but now they're crying foul. It's like they have the memory of a goldfish with amnesia.
Statement saying that the charges in Hunter's case were politically motivated and his son was selectively and unfairly prosecuted.
In Washington, selective outrage is the name of the game. Today's scandal is tomorrow's forgotten news. But don't worry, folks. By next week, they'll have found something new to be angry about. Speaking of short attention spans and bad ideas, let's talk about Trump's latest brilliant plan. It's a doozy that'll make you wonder if he's been hitting the eggnog a bit too hard. Well, folks, we've taken a wild ride from Mar-a-Lago to the White House, and it's clear that reality has left fiction in the dust. Who needs Netflix when you've got C-SPAN, right? Remember, in Washington, today's scandal is tomorrow's forgotten news.
And it was done. I wonder if Joe now has to get Hunter anything for Christmas. This is good enough, right? And of course, the right-wing media is going so nuts. I mean, they have to be kidding, right? Everyone who voted to let a 34-time convicted felon off the hook is very mad about Joe Biden letting his son off the hook.
1 minute, everyone's losing their minds over Hunter Biden's pardon. The next, they're arguing about how many Christmas ornaments is too many. It's like a never-ending game of political whack-a-mole. But hey, let's not forget to laugh at the absurdity of it all. As they say, the Biden presidency has now entered the grandpa doesn't give a damn about what you think phase. So keep your eyes peeled and your funny bone ready. In this circus, the clowns are running the show and we're all just along for the ride. Stay informed, stay sane, and remember, in politics, sometimes the best defense is a good sense of humor.